Hey everyone, this is Chris and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today we're doing part 3 of a 3-part series where we've walked through the timeline of getting a mortgage. Now, whether you've never bought a house before or you're on your 5th one, it's kind of good for everybody to get a refresher on what this looks like because you've probably forgot, just like I have when I bought houses, and the mortgage industry changes too, and things maybe look a little different since the last time you did it. And so part 3, we're taking it from when you get a cleared to close email or call from your lender all the way through closing. Cleared to close. It's one of the most magical words in the mortgage industry because what that means is that you've gotten from beginning to the end of the process part of the mortgage where the lender can finally say, hey, we are good to go. We've got everything ready to go. It's just the best phone call that a lender can make. And so at this point in time, all the verification is done, and when I say cleared to close, it means all the conditions from underwriting have been cleared, but not everything is totally finished yet. And so there are still some things to do because closing is still maybe a week away or a couple days away. And so one of the things that happens at this stage is that the lender is going to send out what's called a closing disclosure. Closing disclosure is going to have almost all of the balancing done, basically from the lender side of things. They're going to have gathered all of the invoices from surveyors and appraisers and quotes from the title company, and your insurance will be in there, your property taxes estimates will be in there. And so a lot of balancing will be done. And so the closing disclosure hopefully will be as close to the final numbers as possible. At this point in time, the lender's probably going to ask you just to sign off on that because, again, the government wants to make sure that you are protected as a buyer and that you've seen these numbers with plenty of time before closing to take a look at them and ask questions and make sure that you're ready to sign the final documents. And so you're going to need to provide a signature at some point along the way for those. And then the reason why I said that the balances aren't quite done yet is because once the lender gets done with all of their stuff, everything that they know is up to date, then they send it over to the title company, or if you're in a state where an attorney's office does that work, whoever is closing the loan actually on the closing day is going to get those final documents, and they are going to do the final balancing because they are also going to be looking at the seller's information. They've gotten that from them. They're trying to balance those things, and they're going to be the ones that ultimately look at property taxes in your county and making sure that those are counted down to the day so that the seller is responsible for their part and then you are responsible for your future part after today. And so that's why when I say the lender has basically everything balanced, it just means that there is one final step. The title company does the final balancing, and then everything's thumbs up at that point. And so usually that hopefully will come at least a couple days before closing so you know exactly what your final number is going to be. And that's what you're going to bring in, is this one final number. The final number will include your down payment. It'll include all of the fees that you are covering. It'll have balanced in everything from both credits and debits all the way along the way. And so you're going to bring in $1 amount to closing, whether it be a wire or a cashier's check. And then it'll be up to the closing company, the title company, or whoever to disperse all of those payments on that day. And so their job is to divvy all of that up. And so if you're doing a wire, it's always good to maybe send that the day before, because in a world where you can Venmo somebody on the other side of the planet money in a half a second, for some reason wires still take hours. And so it's always good to just send a wire probably the day before just to make sure that that money is in its destination at the closing company beforehand. Cashier's check is just something, it's just a certified check from a bank or a credit union, just showing that they're guaranteeing this money. So it's a little bit more concrete than just a personal check. And so you're going to bring your money to closing along with your driver's license. And at the closing, the title company is where you will sign in ink all of your final documents. Or if you're in a state that does e-signing, that's always nice too. Just make sure you take time to read that stuff. So the closer at the company will probably take time to go through each document page by page. Usually takes 20 minutes to a half hour, sometimes longer, just depending on the program. If there's extra down payment assistance happening, all of that stuff can take a little bit longer. And a rule of thumb, the week of closing, just because you've had clear to close and just because you've signed your closing disclosure, once again, does not mean you should go do a couple things. You probably still shouldn't go buy something on your credit cards without asking permission, or not permission, but just double checking with your lender. Certainly don't go out and get any new loans, because even though all of that stuff is cleared, Sometimes lenders will have notification services set up to where if something happens with a credit card or something like that, there could be notifications that come, and then double checking there, which could cause a problem. So even though, again, you've already signed your closing disclosures and had all of that, it doesn't mean you're completely in the blue quite yet. So just don't take out any new debt there. Also, once again, please don't start a new job. That would not be great at this point in time either. Usually the day before, a processor in the team will do like a verbal verification of employment. That can happen where they quick call your employer right beforehand just to double check you're still working there. I've had it where the person has quietly told the employer that they were not going to be working there anymore and didn't tell me that, and it caused a big problem. So keep your job, because verifications happen right up until the last minute. Closing day is just the best day. You get to sign all the documents. I know your wrist starts to hurt after a while, but there's just so much excitement because you've come so far. You've dreamed about it, you've talked about it, you've planned for it, you've worked for it by sending in documents, and a lot of people have worked on your behalf in order to get to this day. And so it's such a huge thing to celebrate. After you've signed all your documents, you're usually going to be able to grab the keys and your garage door openers or wherever for your new house, and you can leave from the title company or closing company and head straight to your house because it's yours starting then. So huge day to celebrate. Once again, thank you so much for watching and refreshing yourself on the mortgage process. Once again, please like and subscribe and interact on the page. I would love to hear from you and be able to answer questions. Have a wonderful day, and thanks again for watching.